Have you ever been troubled by questions which nobody seems to be able to answer? You've asked again and again, only to end up in sheer frustration. Questions like, could there really be a God out there, somewhere? Is the theory of evolution truly scientific? Is it possible to make any sense at all of the confusing maze of religions everywhere?
Hello, I'm Subodh Pandit, specialist in internal medicine and one-time assistant professor at the University of Oklahoma, USA. I was born and brought up in India, a land of tremendous diversity in language, culture, philosophy, and religion. I too had these perplexing questions, and they troubled me greatly at times. I looked for answers in a search that went on and on for more than 20 years. Let me share with you some of the information that gripped me. The ancient Greek philosophers said that a sound, persuasive argument which would bring us closest to the truth of the matter would be one based on logos, ethos, and pathos. What do these words mean? Logos, for our purposes, would mean credible information, evidence, fact. Ethos, open and honest interpretation of those facts based on reason and logic. The word ethics is derived from ethos. And pathos, an appeal to the whole being, including the emotions and the conscience. What do you think would happen if we applied all these principles to our search? I can guess what you might be thinking. Uh-oh, here comes another charlatan with his big bag of high-sounding but empty words. So to assure you that this is no charlatan's hoax, let me give you examples of our answers. Answers based on painstaking and meticulous search and research. Let's go to the first question.
Could there really be a God out there, somewhere?
Here is one response. Science is built on the foundation of reliability, predictability, and orderliness. One of the order principles of science describes the relationship between cause and effect and puts them in proper sequence. Correct order. The cause always precedes or comes before the effect or the phenomenon. Simple. Now, if we take the universe to be the phenomenon, and if we also take the universe to be completely and wholly natural, then we could, with good reason, deduce that the cause preceded or came before anything and everything natural. Therefore, it had to be non-natural, or in other words, supernatural. So, the order principle of science points to the existence of God. How about the second question?
Is the theory of evolution truly scientific?
Let us take the approach that Charles Darwin himself called for on page 379 of his book, The Origin of Species.
We should be able to view both sides of the question with impartiality, for only thus can the load of prejudice be removed.
Fair enough. So let's examine one of his own statements impartially. It is found on page 160.
All vertebrate animals having true lungs have descended by ordinary generation from an ancient prototype of which we know nothing.
A theory that is based on such a confession of abject ignorance can hardly be called scientific. In fact, it is not. We will quote extensively from his book and demonstrate the unscientific nature of the proposal using his own words. Even the most ardent follower, if he is fair, will be compelled to acknowledge the sheer weight of evidence in his book. And now, to the third and final question in the series.
Is it possible to make any sense at all of the confusing maze of religions everywhere?
The question is a complex one, and we should approach it in a careful and balanced manner. One effective method I found was to ask non-religious questions which are nevertheless related to the religions, and then compare the responses from the various writings. One question could possibly be, is that sacred writing to be classified as folklore, or legendary, or mythological, or historical? In this classification, obviously, the historical would have the highest credibility. The Hindu stories are mythological. The Buddhist narrative is legendary. How about the Bible, the New Testament? Luke wrote two important narratives found in the New Testament. This is what Sir William Ramsay, one of the greatest archaeologists of all time, said after 30 years of study.
Luke is a historian of the first rank. Not merely are his statements of fact trustworthy, this author should be placed along with the very greatest of historians.
The New Testament, then, has features which are clearly historical in nature, and it should not be dismissed as mythological or legendary. So, you see, asking the right questions could provide a truly unique and eye-opening perspective. Join us in the production of this DVD, replete with illustrations and quotes, statistics and graphic animations, destined to become an all-time classic in the discussion and debate of these universal questions in both religious and scientific circles.